And welcome back to Late Night Love. Jesus, I am just out of sorts tonight. What is going on with me tonight? In love tonight, we are stepping into the emotional trenches. I'm out of sorts. Into the emotional trenches of parenting and partnerships, from the first summer without childcare to kids obsessed with prime drinks to partners comparing smiles and parents who still enforce good Lord, phone curfews at 19. This is the messy middle of modern family life. We're also touching on gender disappointment, stomach aching babies, and the quiet guilt that comes with wanting to be everything for everyone. See, I'm telling you, the wet pants to start the show was just threw me off. I'm sticky. There's just all kinds of problems. I'm just all out of sorts tonight. It's funny for us, but I hope they're not. I hope you all out there are having a better time.
I hope you're laughing at this.
Yeah, I don't even know how to start. So we're just gonna plow through it because what else are you gonna do? What's our first question tonight?
Okay, this poor girl. First summer without childcare. How are working parents actually doing this? Grandma and Grandpa.
Well, how old are the children?
Like 6 and 9.
I don't know. It depends. At the 9-year-old, it's relatively independent, right?
Yeah.
So it's really only the 6-year-old you're really worried about. And see, this is the problem you and people like you and our age have. You go, what? You go to work and they take care of themselves. What's your problem? It's just, we're taking care of ourselves, essentially, at 9.
I was.
At 9, 10 years old.
I was 9, but I wasn't taking care of my 6-year-old sister.
Yeah, that's the difference, right? The
Yeah.
9-year-old can take care of themselves.
I was.
6-year-old,
Before and after school.
the 6-year-old is a little bit different. And this isn't the 70s, right?
Yeah.
So, and we're not in rural Ohio or suburban Sacramento.
60s, rural Ohio. Seriously, farm country,
Yeah.
you know?
Late 70s, early 80s, suburban Sacramento. It's like, our biggest danger was falling into the river. I mean, seriously, that was that was the biggest danger we faced.
Yeah.
And no one ever knew it, but, that's a whole different story. Well, here's how parents do it. They just figure it out. And the answers are different for every individual person. Like you said, sometimes they have grandma and grandpa. Sometimes they have
aunts and uncles.
Sometimes they have a coworker who needs a couple extra $100, who's got a sister who could use a couple extra $100 and watches kids, for a few hours during the day. It really depends. Or you could have answers like, in our family, my son is the stay-at-home parent, while his wife is the breadwinner, because it just costs more money for childcare than he can make in a month.
Actually, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just stupid, and so they don't.
Yeah.
And so that's how they do it. And that's its own sacrifice, right?
And she has a skilled career as a nurse.
And so these are answers parents just have to figure out. And it's not being flippant.
No, it isn't.
It's just...
We've been there.
It's just that there's no singular answer.
There isn't, and you get through it one summer at a time. Seriously, no 2 summers are going to be alike.
No, and the thing is that 9-year-old, as they get older, they become less and less needing of the attention. They start needing guidance rather than attention.
Uh-huh.
And so it becomes a little easier.
Yeah.
Because you're really focusing more and more on, okay, how do I deal with the young one?
Yeah.
As the older one becomes more self-sufficient. So as time moves on, there is some relief ahead. Now, your stresses are different, because now you don't know what that kid is out there doing, but, you've raised them to make, pretty good decisions, and you trust in the process. Right? That's what every parent has to do at some point. So
And it's hard. It is. Your little one is growing up, you know.
Yeah. And then there are things like for the 6-year-old, there are day camps. I work at a community center, you know, and around the corner in the community center, they have camps in the summer for kids on certain days. So sometimes you can get Wednesdays be dealt with at the community center.
Yeah.
You know, so there are ways to fill gaps or to, you know, have less gaps that need to be filled.
Yeah.
There's ways to do this. So take advantage of those as well. Okay.
A parent told me every kid should win a prize during party games. What do you think?
I think that parent should suck it. Someone needs to be, you know, everybody can win a prize. Now, it depends, right?
Don't be bossy about somebody else's party. What the heck is that?
Well, here's the thing. If it's like at a birthday party, everybody gets a basic prize for coming to the party, right? I actually can get that. Everybody gets a bubblegum card, some bubblegum and a baseball card, right?
You know what I used to do? We'd play games, and then everybody would get a grab bag. We wouldn't have a prize for each game.
No, well, you'd have a prize for each game, but everybody would leave with something completely separated from the games.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the winner of the game got a prize.
Oh.
No, but the participants didn't. But everybody got essentially a door prize.
Yeah.
You got a prize for walking in the door.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for coming. Here's a bag of bubble gum and baseball cards and marbles. You know, depending upon the age of the.
Where have you been? You have to do a decorative bag.
I raised boys.
You got to have a pencil in there for one.
There's no decorative bags when you have boys. No one cares about the decorative bags. You're lucky if you get a Ziploc. We're boys. Why you decorated a bag for boys? They don't care. That's about the dumbest waste of time.
You buy them.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
You buy the brown sandwich bags. Here you go.
No.
Or Ziploc bags. Or you just tell them.
That's not very festive.
We're boys. They don't care about festive. They just want to go play their games.
Excuse me, I'm the mom doing the party. It has to be festive.
I'm just saying that when you're dealing with boys, they don't care about that stuff. Mom cares, but the boys don't.
If there's little girls, they care.
Yeah, but I had boys. And my daughter.
You had, this is why Summer turned out the way she did.
Hey, my daughter brought me a Dr. Pepper, so don't tell me about how my daughter turned out.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that as an observation.
I'm just saying.
Not as a judgment.
I'm just saying. I think I won. So. So here's my thing. Yes, the winner of the prize, you want to have party games, great, but the prizes should mean something, right? If you're going to have a game, you have the winners. Winning should mean something. But you do want to make sure everybody leaves with a door prize if you're going to do that, so no one feels left out. I have no understanding with that.
Yeah.
You get something for coming, right? Well, I don't care if it's a sticker and a Twizzler. You know, just give them something for coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
My girlfriend of 4 months got sad when I showed her a pic of me and my son because my smile was bigger than in any of our pics together. This woman is 27 years old. I'm sorry if she doesn't get this, that kids come first. And yeah, he's the biggest source of joy in your life. Always has been, has been before her, and will be after. And she has just got to come to grips with that. And if she can't, I'm sorry, she's not the one for you. I see issues in your future here with you and your son. And in essence, is it going to come down to where she's going to make you choose?
Well, I got a question. Just because she got sad doesn't necessarily mean she made a big deal about it. She can be sad, and it's okay to, if you're with someone you love, it's okay to mention to someone, this made me a little sad. She's 27. She probably doesn't have a lot of experience in dealing with this. I'm not willing to completely throw her under the bus over this yet. I'm
think she needs to flip and grow up.
Now, that may very well be true. She may be a little more self-centered. She doesn't understand men don't like taking pictures with their spouse. They're never uncomfortable. The smiles look phony every single time. The only way you get a good picture of a man with his spouse is a candid one when they're not paying attention. That's it. Right? Well, unless they're photogenic guys. Those guys don't count, though. But for the most of us, we hate taking pictures. We despise it. Even if the person with the person we love. The problem is when you're taking children with our kids, we're faking it for our kids. And so you get this big cheesy grin that looks great later on, but you don't know that we're faking it for the kids. We don't want to be taking this picture. Unless, of course, again, it was a candid shot and you got a genuine raw moment. You can't judge anything on a genuine raw moment because it's a split second in time. If you're taking that shot half a second later, you've got a goofy, twisted face. It's right. Those things work. You got someone in the middle of a sneeze and it looks like, hey, he's got his big grin on his face. No, he's just about to sneeze. If you took that picture half a second later, you'd have this. So I'm not willing to completely throw her under the bus. I get it. It's an immature reaction, but she's 27. That childishness comes as naturally to a man as it does a child. She got a little sad because she doesn't see pictures. But here's the thing. No one's taking pictures of your best moments, of you and your spouse's best moments. You're not sitting there recording you and your spouse's best moments. You're not, no one does that. Your best moments just happen. They happen to catch somebody else catching you with the best moment with your child. That happens far more often. So she's not comparing equality to equality. She's not comparing our best moments together with those best moments together. And then, secondly, why are you comparing moments? Just enjoy what you've got. So there is some stuff for her to learn. I'm just not willing to throw her under the bus. These are some massive red flags. She was sad. It's an emotion. You're allowed to have emotions. It's how you deal with them. And we have no idea how she dealt with them.
She's comparing.
Yes. She's comparing, and that's a problem. But that's a problem of a lot of 27-year-olds. I'm not willing to throw her under the bus for being 27. What did we do at 27? Huh?
I was getting sober.
Okay, so what did we do at 25?
I started on my spiritual journey.
See, but the point is, we were not mature at 27, were we?
No,
we weren't. That's about right at the time where we start going, oh, I don't know jack squat, do I? Right? It's 27, 30, somewhere in that range when you start to figure that one out.
Yeah.
Just let her learn something. This is a learning opportunity for her.
All right.
And
she gets one chance.
She has every right to be sad, right? You can't control the emotion that you have. You can't control what you do with it.
Keep it to yourself.
You can't control what I have no problem sharing, right? But what do you do with it? What are you going to do with that emotion?
Talk to your mom.
Maybe. Don't talk to your friends because the 27-year-old women are toxic these days. So don't go talk to.
Sorry, don't talk to your friends.
Don't go talk to your 27. No. Find an old woman. Don't talk to a 50, 60-year-old.
Someone who's been there, done that.
Yeah. Talk to an older woman.
Yeah.
Who's done that. And depending upon the relationship, I don't necessarily mind them having this conversation. This made me sad. Don't want you to do anything with it. I'm just wanting you to know this is what I was feeling. I'm working on it. It's a stupid feeling, and I'm working.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm down for that. I've done that with you.
Yeah. I'm working through this emotion. I don't like it either, but it is what it is.
Actually, I think I've done that with your kids.
Yeah, it happens.
Because, I mean, I had... I had never been in a relationship with someone with children, and you came with 5. It was a little overwhelming.
No way, man.
But I was ready. I was 40 years old. I was ready. You know, oh no, I was 38, 39, something like that. And I was finally in my life where I'm like, okay, this is silly.
Sweetie, you were 50.
Was I 50? Oh yeah, I was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right. No, I was 48 because we've been together 17 years and I'm going to be 65. Anyways, I was at a point in my life where I finally, you know, it's like, you can't do this. Men who are 50 are going to have kids.
This is true.
Don't stop it.
You're going to have to start going after cradle robbing at some point.
I know. I tried that. It was bad.
Yeah. What do you want those immature ones for? Jesus Christ, we're not even mature at 50. And what the hell do you want one who's even less mature?
Exactly.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Which is why I was off the market for 10 years.
I'm still not mature.
And I would take forays into the dating world, and then it's like, and then I'd go back in and I'd go be a hermit again for another year. But, okay, so you're going to give this girl another chance.
As long as she's dealing with it and not it's not accusatory, it's just informational, right? She's going, hey, I had this emotion. I'm trying to work through it. You know, and she's trying to work through it. She's not making it a thing. She's just saying, you know, it is what it is.
She's just sharing.
Yes.
Yeah.
She's sharing where her headspace is. Maybe she doesn't have anybody to share with, right? Maybe she doesn't have a 60-year-old friend she can go talk to. Maybe her mother has passed away, and so her husband.
There really should be a dial-a-mom.
So maybe her husband is her support system.
Dial-a-grandma.
And let's give him credit. He was, you know, at least mature enough to, you know, go to Reddit and try to figure out, okay, what's my response here, rather than flying off the handle on his own response. So let's give him a little credit too for taking time to, okay, let me think this through and see what it really means, rather than fly off on my own emotional.
Okay.
So let's give them both a little bit of credit, right? She's young and emotional, has an emotion she doesn't know what to deal with yet. All right, we'll give her that. At least she's trying to deal with it. And he doesn't let his emotions overwhelm him. And so he's looking for his, you know, way through it. Let's give him credit for having a semi-functional relationship.
All right.
All right. Okay, what's next?
Okay, my 6-year-old is suddenly obsessed with prime drinks, and I don't know what to give him instead. Everybody at this little boy's kindergarten has prime drinks. And she took a look at the label, and she doesn't like she doesn't want to give her kid all those additives.
No, completely understandable. 6-year-olds probably shouldn't be drinking those prime drinks anyway.
Yeah.
I don't want to call it a marketing thing. It's a trend. The thing is, it'll go away in a few months. You just have to be strong in those few months. You don't replace it with anything. You just tell him no. It's tough because you want to solve his problem, but his problem is peer pressure. Mm-hmm. The problem isn't actually the prime drink. The problem is he's got to learn to, not conform to peer pressure. And sadly, this is your time to just say no. And you give him whatever you were going to give him anyway. Maybe you pack his other favorite drinks a little more often, but you don't tell him. Yeah. Maybe he gets chocolate milk more often or whatever it is, Yeah. But you don't tell him that. You just tell him no. That's
a good one. Instead of prime drink, send him with chocolate milk. So there,
or whatever. I don't know if it's feasible. That's what we would do in our days. But we didn't care. They didn't care if we drank half sour milk when we were kids. So
put it in a thermos.
Yeah, they have better thermoses these days.
They do
than we did. So they'll actually stay cold.
Yeah.
So you can do that. Send them with chocolate milk. Heck, they have battery-powered thermoses to keep stuff cold nowadays.
Stop it.
What, you think they don't?
This is great. Now I got to look it up on Amazon.
Keep stuff cold in your battery-powered thermos. You can have cold chocolate milk for lunch. You know, he's 6. Just my suggestion is just to make sure you say no. You help him not give in to peer pressure. You say 6-year-old.
Yeah, set a trend. Don't go with the sheep. Be a lion. Set your own way.
Well, he ain't gonna care about that.
Chocolate milk.
Yeah. Just tell him no, and then give him more of his other favorite drink.
There you go.
Chocolate milk, orange juice, whatever the heck it is.
There you
Just
go.
give him more of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Gender disappointment. She's getting a boy again.
I can understand. How many boys does she have at this point?
She has 2.
And so she's gonna get a third one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel her pain. And here's the thing I want you, it's okay to feel that way.
Yeah.
'Cause it'll evolve. You know you'll end up, not carry that you had a boy, another boy. Even now, there's parts of you that want to go, I wish I had my daughter sooner, right? But then I wouldn't have had all my boys, and I wouldn't have the daughter I have now, and no, I really wouldn't, right? It's one of those things that you kind of say that, but you really wouldn't change jack diddly squat.
Yeah.
And so you don't. It's okay. You wanted a little girl. You've got a dream of having a little girl since you've wanted kids, right? And the dresses and the doing the fun furly things and the makeup together, or I don't know, riding horses or go shooting bows and arrows. I don't know, whatever it is her little dream was. She clearly had a dream for her and her little girl.
Yes, she did.
And now that dream has been dashed yet again. It's the same way men have when they get girls instead of the little boys, and they want, a little quarterback or someone to work on a car with them or all those little things. And they get a little disappointed that they have a daughter. These are completely 100% natural human reactions. It's okay to have them. That's what I want to tell you, is it's okay to have those reactions. And we go back to, what do you do with them? You honor it, and then you love the child you get, because you're not going to get another one. This is the only one of this child you're going to have. Regardless, girl, boy, or whatever. This is the only one of those you're going to get.
Sorry.
So you're going to enjoy that one.
Yeah.
Whatever it comes out as.
Yeah.
Little man bear pig. It doesn't matter. It's going to be yours. And so you'll be all right. But
You will be. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. You to have that feeling.
And my guess is the reason she's coming here to Reddit and posting this is she's feeling a little guilty for feeling.
Yeah, she is.
She's feeling guilty for feeling that
The baby.
disappointed.
They did the ultrasound. The baby's perfectly healthy. Everything's all the body parts are there. And so she's trying to be grateful, but she's disappointed.
She was the coin landed heads again. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
I have 3 girls.
Yeah, I got.
And every time I wondered, is this going to be, am I going to get a son? And I didn't.
Well, we eventually got a girl.
And I evolved emotionally to, and now I embrace. I have 3 healthy girls who are good people. Huzzah.
Yeah, so
I win.
you'd be all right. You just have a high testosterone house. Other houses have high, estrogen.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. Sorry.
Your house is going to be motion and basketball and
On the plus
a
side,
lot of food.
you'll have less emotions. Oh, you'll still have emotions. You'll just have less of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the range won't be as many.
And then the girlfriends will start showing up, and you'll get attached to him, and then they, but because they're 16, she goes off to somebody else. They break up. Nobody's fault. And it hurts. It hurts. Because you thought, oh, maybe I could have a daughter-in-law. And you will someday. You're going to have 3 daughters-in-laws. Imagine that.
Or not. Well, or maybe. You never know these days.
It's going to be great.
So anyway, just love the children you have, and you'll be okay. That's I'm going to end up with that. You'll be all right.
You will.
Okay, what's next?
Okay, this one is a rough one. 19 with a phone curfew. It led to a physical altercation with my mom. She's almost 60. And now I'm considering moving out. His phone curfew is at 8 p.m.
She. Yeah.
And she's considering moving out.
Yeah.
And it's been 8 o'clock. Curfew since she was 14. Now she's 19. She's working. She's paying for her own phone.
Well,
but they're like, you live here, you follow our rules.
Well, if you're in that kind of a house, you probably should just better off moving.
It's time to. It's
because
time
especially
to,
you're paying
it's
for
time
your
to
own.
go.
You're paying for your own phone. They can pound sand.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's. Now, granted, you're coming from someone who didn't really impose curfews on his children. It was when you were young, get in before dark, and when you're older, it's just come home. Now, oddly enough, my kids already left the house, but that was the other thing. So
You had a safe house.
yeah. So here's the thing: get your move out plan.
Yeah.
Would be my suggestion.
Now, she does feel awful that it escalated to a physical altercation with her mom, and she has apologized.
Well, her mother needs to apologize too, because this is going too far. So I'd just start planning your move out.
Yeah.
And often the actual planning of the move out would actually sometimes makes them rethink their position
It does.
as they realize they're being unreasonable.
All of a sudden, you're going to have a 10 o'clock phone curfew, you know?
And her answer to that is, no, I'm an adult. You cannot tell me when I can and cannot use my phone. Mm-hmm. I cannot be treated like a child.
Yeah.
Hey, I get it. You don't want me coming in and out at 2 a.m., unless I'm going to work, coming to and from work. I get it, right? You're not.
Sure.
It's like even boarding houses have rules, right? When you can come and go.
Yeah.
So I get it. But the use of my phone, that's my personal private property.
Yeah.
You have no control over that. So that would be my only suggestion. But make your move out plan. And the move out plan itself may change things, but don't count on it. Find a move out plan. And getting good roommates is difficult. So good luck on that. But a bad roommate is sometimes better than a worse roommate. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, okay.
Okay. 6 months old and still needs to be burped.
Not
The baby has a lot of stomach pain, a lot of gas.
check for like a hiatal hernia. Those that can cause the things can do that. You do the squishy thing with the kids.
With the legs.
yeah, the squishy
You
thing.
put you flex their legs up, their little knees up to their chest, and then that pushes the gas out sometimes. And you do that back and forth.
This helps it move around.
Moves the gas around.
It moves stuff. It just gets stuff moving.
Yeah.
Is because what happens is the stuff gets stuck, and then it hurts. So you can help them get stuff moving. Is a thing. But if their child is having lots of stomach pain, you get them checked out because we had a child with a hiatal hernia that was causing a lot of pain, and so once that got fixed, a lot of the pain went away.
Yeah.
So just get it checked out.
Okay.
Would be my suggestion. But also, if it is just gas, change your feeding methods. You're getting too much air down there when you're feeding them. Or you're feeding them stuff that is generating too much air or too much gas on digestion. What are you feeding that child? It becomes the other question then. If it's not something medical, then it's either what you're feeding them or how you're feeding them. Right? Yeah.
Well,
Or-
she says the bottle is really airy, a lot of air.
Okay, well then change how you make that
Change
bottle.
your bottles.
Or change what you're making. You know, what are you shaking it and the formula still has a lot of air in it?
Yeah.
Well, then change how you mix it up so that you don't create the air bubbles,
Okay.
right? So there's some process. There's some either what you're feeding them or the process you're using to feed them that is inducing more air than there should be, or creating more air. Mm-hmm. But I'd also check for whatchamacallit.
Hernia.
Yeah. Well, hernia, anything, any issue, actual issue.
Any physical, yeah.
Yeah. Check for physical issues. Mm-hmm. Love stretches us, frustrates us, and sometimes breaks our hearts a little, but it also reminds us of why we keep trying. So for me and Lebby tonight, have a good night, and please remember to love everybody.
Good night.
If you want more of what you heard tonight, the stories, the honesty, the late night comfort, make sure to follow the show online at latenightLove.us. You can catch full episodes, bonus clips, and send in your own questions for next week's show.